Hey, 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 it's Dr. Kre. Welcome to Dr. Kre and Me show. This is Thanksgiving week, and I'm already running like a chicken with my head cut off. But I wanted to stop and share a few minutes with you to let you know 4 things about the new, 4 updates or whatever you want to call it, inquiries maybe, or just new things to know about the new high blood pressure guidelines. So I'll give you a few minutes. I'm about 10 minutes late, but I was at the nursing home. So I just was able to get home and get situated so we can do Dr. Kre and Me show. We can get ready for Thanksgiving. So this is so fitting because it is Thanksgiving week and we're going to be eating a lot of good things. So if you're eating a lot of high salt items, be mindful because salt is one of the things that can make your blood pressure go up. Hey Dave, how's Denise? Is she feeling better? So we're going to get started in about 3 minutes. Let's see. Hey, Rox, how you doing? Oh, I still owe you that question on the vitamin D. I do plan to send you a message on that. Hey, Tanya. What's up? What's up? It's Thanksgiving. The holidays are my absolute favorite time of the year. It's already Christmas at my house. Hey, Aubrey, how you doing? Oh, she is feeling better. Okay, cool. It's already Christmas at Chateau Johnson. Hey Jennifer, hey love, I'm just in time because I'm always at work, but now I can watch it and listen. Yes. Hey Eve, it's my amazing stylist. How y'all doing? So I'm getting ready and get started in 1 minute. Hey Lucretia, see I'm a little late and it's more y'all here because I'm late, huh? How's y'all week been going? Has it been amazing? It's just Monday. Hope you had a great Monday and made the best of your Monday. You have to be thankful for another Monday because somebody didn't get a Monday, right? So today we're going to talk about four things to know about the new high blood pressure guidelines. I'm not sure if you have high blood pressure and you're listening, or if high blood pressure runs in your family. Like it does mine, I do not have high blood pressure, but it does really run in my family. So I'm forever being mindful of my blood pressure so that I can know if it's something that I need to jump on or not. Okay? All right. So I'm going to get started. You know who I am. If you don't know, I'm Dr. Kre. I am a board certified family medicine physician, and I specialize in you, my amazing patients, all of you. Even if you're under my care now, I consider you my patients because you tune in every week and you listen, you get empowered, you learn what you need to do, you know what you need to do so that when you go see your own doctor in your own state, if you're in North Carolina, we got people from North Carolina, Maryland, or Alabama, you can know some things to ask about. You can know some things to inquire about because I feel like when you as a patient, when you know better, you can do better. A lot of times with a lot of the guidelines that we have now, we don't have a lot of time to spend with our patients like we would like because you're so pressed and you have to see X amount a day to meet the bottom line. But here with the Dr. Kre and Me show, it is all about you and educating you and letting you know all the things that you need to know about your health so that you can live healthier, happier, just well lives. Hey, Miss Banks, how you doing? Hey, Harold. Hey, from Dallas. Did you have your surgery? I hope that it went well. We've been thinking about you, actually. So, hey, from Dallas, Texas. So, we got Texas, we got Maryland, we got North Carolina, we got, hey, Pam, we got another North Carolina. You started your vitamin D? Good. So, I'm so very proud of y'all. So, as of last week, the American Cardiology Society and American Heart Association, they actually made some changes to the high blood pressure guidelines. Now, so first of all, let me just give it back up and say, how do I decide when my patients have high blood pressure? So if you come in and your blood pressure is up, whatever we consider up is, because that's changing now. So if your blood pressure is up on 2 different occasions, then you, my friend, are hypertensive, is what it's called, hypertension. Oh, you still recovering? Okay, great. Hope it goes well. Hope your recovery goes well, Harold. Oh, you started your vitamin D? Y'all better do that. Get on that vitamin D, yes. So, I digress. So what is high blood pressure in itself? I think I did a video on it before, but just to kind of recap. Used to be high blood pressure was 2 readings over 140 on top And then the bottom greater than 90. So greater than anything greater than 140 on the top, anything greater than 90 on the bottom twice. So somebody type that in there. So the old guidelines was greater than 140 on the top, greater than 90 on the bottom. You had to have it twice to be yes, you have high blood pressure, and I need you to start some medicine. Well, number one, high blood pressure is 2 readings that are high. It used to be greater than 140 over 90. Well, now they have changed the guidelines to, if you are stage 1 hypertensive, then your numbers are ranging between 130 and 139. So that's less than what we were just talking about, over 80 to 89. So the stage 1 hypertension is a person with a blood pressure between 130 to 139 over 80 to 89. Now, before, remember I said if it was anything over 140, anything over 90, you was on your way. Hey, Ava. So anything over 140, anything over 90, you were like, oh my gosh, I have high blood pressure. Well, now stage 1 high blood pressure is greater than 130 on the top and or greater than 80 on the bottom. So somebody type number 1. Number 1 is high blood pressure is 2 elevated readings. 2 elevated readings. Just 2. So you can get that 2 in your office when you're seeing your doctor. Like I'll give you come to me and 6 months later. Hey Marquita, you're not that late. I was late, so I just got started. Oh, Eve, you have your numbers been up a little bit too. That's okay. We got a plan for that, okay? So, thank you, Dave. Old standards was greater than 140 over 90. And you had to have that twice. That's important to add to that. You have to have had greater than 140 over 90 at least 2 times, 2 different occasions to be considered hypertensive. So, number 2 is stage 1 hypertension now, as it stands, is greater than 130 over 80. I feel like that's the rest of the word. It's everybody almost. So yours runs 116 over 79. You rock. That's good. So 1 is 2 elevated readings to give you high blood pressure. 2, stage 1 now is greater than 130 over 80. So just remember that you can have what can be high is 135 over 70. That's still not a normal reading. Or you can be 120 over 87. So older are the days of you have to be less than 120 over 80. So I guess we're easing our way back to that because, used to be your blood pressure had to be, less than 120 over 80 to be normal. Then in the last few years, we've gone to if you are diabetic, if you are less than 60 years old, it needed to be less than 140 over 90. If you have kidney disease, less than 140 over 90. If you're 60 years old, then the goal was to be less than 150 on the top over 90. However, there were a lot of more incidents of heart attacks and strokes that have caused them to ram the brakes and say, let's take it back to where we were. So number 1, you have to have 2 readings of greater than 130 over 80, which is the new high. So 1, 2 readings have to be high. Just whatever high is, because high's changing drastically often. So number 2, stage 1 is greater than 130 over 80. Stage 3, just because you meet greater than 130 over 80 does not necessarily mean that you have to start on medications. Let's be clear about that. So you do not necessarily have to start on medicines if you are into that stage 1 range. So number 1, you got to have 2 readings that are high to be like, okay, I'm considered diabetic. Number 2, you to be stage 1 is greater than 130 on the top, greater than 80 on the bottom. Number 3, just because you're in this stage 1, does not necessarily mean you have to start on medications. So don't get all freaked out because you're like, well, last time I went it was 130. I finally got it down to 132 over 83. Now I'm going to have to increase my medicines. That's not necessarily the case. So what can we do other than take medications? We can do lifestyle changes. That is going to be watching your salt intake. Well, everything in the world that we eat now, people have salt in it. You know, everything is, I count my calories and I'm like, dog, I ate that much sodium today. And I don't even know where my salt shaker is. So I'm not adding extra, even if you're not adding extra salt, a lot of what we intake in America today is full of sodium. So we need to watch our sodium intake by looking on the backs of stuff and see what's high in sodium. Watch canned foods, frozen foods. Those are the big things. Canned foods and frozen foods and just processed foods in general have a lot of sodium because they have to have a longer shelf life. So if you happen to get a longer shelf life, then you're like probably going to have too much salt. So in that same vein, number 3 is you don't necessarily have to start medications right off the bat when you get this 130 something over 80 something. Okay, we can also combat this by watching our weight. So I have a lot of people that as their weight starts to creep up, their blood pressure goes up. As their weight comes on back down, blood pressure gets better. It's almost like a direct correlation for a lot of people. So making sure that you are not just living a sedentary lifestyle. You're not just going to work and home and church and sleep and eat. Work, home, you know, doing those kind of cycles is really not good for you because you're not getting your heart rate up. You're not getting the exercising. You know, you got to be active. So let's watch our sodium. Let's get more active. And let's drink more water. Let's flush all of the sodium you are getting into you. Let's try and flush that all out. So number 1, we got to have 2 blood pressure readings that are high. Thank you, Dave, for that. Number 2, stage 1 is greater than 130 over 80. Number 3 is you don't necessarily need medications. Stage 4, like I already said, I said this earlier, old guidelines were less than 140 over 90. And if you were less than 60 years old, if you had kidney disease, and if you had kidney disease, diabetes, heart disease, had a stroke, those kind of things that push you at risk for other events in that class, other strokes, other high blood pressure, other strokes, other heart failure exacerbations, it puts you in a higher risk for being uncontrolled. So therefore, they want to keep the risk of you having those events down. So the risk decreases as your blood pressure is better. So number 4, those were the 4 things. So 1, blood pressure has to be considered hypertensive. You have to have 2 numbers that are high. Number 2, stage 1 is greater than 130 over 80. Stage 3, we may not need medicines. We need to watch our lifestyles, get more active, drink more water, you know, the whole 9. But know that your family history plays a very, very, very big part of that. I tell a lot of people you can be skinny as a rail, and running every day, exercising every day, but a lot of times it's hard to outrun your family history. So we got to be mindful of that. And your bonus, number 5 is what can having these higher numbers cause, which I said, it can cause you to have a blood vessel to explode in your brain, which is a bleeding stroke. It can cause the oxygen to not be supplied to an area of your brain because your pressure is so high and shunting blood away that you have a stroke. But that's not a bleeding stroke. It's just where you lose the blood supply to a particular area. You have heart attacks. That's when you lose the blood supply to your heart. You can have congestive heart failure, CHF. That's when your heart, we're supposed to be pumping really, really fast, but it's kind of slowing down. And as the heart slows down, then fluid begins to back up. It can back up on your lungs. It can back up in your legs. And so you're like, oh my goodness, I got this swelling in my legs that no matter how much I elevate, first thing in the morning, nothing, doesn't matter what I do, I'm still having this swelling. I'm getting short of breath for no reason. So all of these things could be a cause of your blood pressure being uncontrolled. You can have hypertensive heart disease. You can have your kidneys to begin to fail because your hypertension has been uncontrolled. So those are a lot of big things. I mean, you can have strokes as a result of it, aneurysms as a result of it. So you just have to be mindful that high blood pressure is nothing to play with by far. I have so many people that come in like, I don't want to be on medicine. I don't want to be. I'm not going to take no medicine. My mama's on medicine. I believe in God and I'm not going to have it. But I believe God too. I believe it. I believe it. But I do think that you have some free will choices in there to say, hey, man, my blood pressure 175 over 100. Every time I go to the doctor, every time I go somewhere, you may need just a bit of something to kind of help to keep you from toppling over the edge, because strokes can be detrimental. My dad had a stroke in front of us a couple of years ago. And thankfully, I knew all the signs of a stroke, but he has high blood pressure. Oddly enough, when we got him to the ER, his pressure was not high. It's actually pretty low, which was alarming to me. I'm like, this man had high blood pressure all the time. Why is it 108 over 60? Well, the body was trying to compensate, you know, whatever. So you have to be mindful that high blood pressure, even though it seems like nothing, it can actually lead to a lot. I also had an uncle that had a stroke a couple of months ago. He didn't have high blood pressure. He just had some kind of random abnormality. So no, there are different things that can cause you to have these episodes. Different things can cause to have stroke, not just high blood pressure. Different things can cause you to have heart attacks, not just high blood pressure. If you're doing cocaine and you're gonna take your heart medicine, your heart will bust. It will cause you to have a heart attack. So everything is not related to high blood pressure. So those are the big things tonight. So number one, you need to have 2 high readings that's even in 2 different places, like one in the office, one at home, or 2 different times at the office, several days apart from each other. Stage 1 is greater than 130 on the top or greater than 80 on the bottom. You don't have to have both of those up. One can be up, one can be normal, the other can be up, the other can be normal. No medicines are necessary at the beginning, maybe. If you just teeter tottering 132 over 81, we're gonna recommend lifestyle changes, exercising more, watching your diet, watching your salt intake. The criteria was if you're less than 60, it was less than 140 over 90. If you're over 60, it was less than 150 over 90. Because the adage was that if you're older, we want to keep you off the floor. We want to keep you from breaking your hips. So therefore, you didn't fall because your pressure was dropping as you would go from sitting to standing. However, obviously, they were still standing on their feet. They would just begin to have more cardiac events and neurological events as a result of the blood pressure being uncontrolled. And we know these things that high blood pressure can cause. They can cause, yes, strokes. Hey, Sandria. Strokes, congestive heart failure. They can all be, it's just a little line. So you just have to be mindful of these things. So let me see. Somebody had some questions. Marquita said, just curious, at some point, can you talk about preeclampsia? I, as well as 3 of my cousins, had it during our pregnancies, which leads to premature birth. Yes, I will. And if you have preeclampsia, just FYI, you are at risk for having hypertension later on in your life. So if you're not going to the doctor on a regular basis, please go get it checked at least once a year, twice a year, because you're at risk for having high blood pressure later on. Just like if you had gestational diabetes during your pregnancies, you're at risk for diabetes type 2. So once a year, I had gestational diabetes. I flunked the test real good and real hard. After the first hour, I knew that I had flunked. I don't look like I should have flunked, but I really flunked the test. And so now every year, I get my A1C checked no matter what, no matter how I'm feeling. And this year was 5.5. So I'm not even borderline diabetic. Not even borderline diabetic, but I still check it once a year. Also, when I had Zoe, my blood pressure shot up. I didn't have preeclampsia during the pregnancy time, but I had postpartum hypertension, and it shot up there really, really, really high, headaches and all that kind of stuff. I took medicines for 6 weeks, and then was able to come off of them. But I'm mindful of my blood pressure now because I had postpartum hypertension, and I had gestational diabetes, and I'm 5 foot, 138 pounds. So I don't fit that bill at all. So you can't look at someone and say, they look like they got high blood pressure. Don't do that. Because you can have it. Because high blood pressure, once again, is a very silent killer. It is very silent. You may not, when you come to see me, if you got high blood pressure, I always ask, do you have any chest pain? You have any shortness of breath? You have any dizziness? You have any headaches to go along with that? But you may not have any of that, because hypertension will just be, your blood pressure is going up and up and up and up. And you're like, how you sitting there in your pressure 210 over 100? Well, I feel fine. My pressure can't be up because I feel fine. Don't be like that and go have a stroke. No, 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 no. And while we're at it, let's talk about checking your blood pressure at home. So the wrist cuffs are very, very, very inaccurate. So get you a cuff that goes here. Get you a cuff that goes here. And as well as one that fits. So if you wear 2X, don't wear a large cuff. Don't just put a large cuff on, because that's going to be wrong. It's going to read high all the while. Or it's going to be squeezing your arm and pumping up. You're like, it's going to kill me. It's going to break my arm. Well, it's not working right. Okay? Get a cuff that fits your arm appropriately. That's so very important. And wrist ones are very inaccurate. And if in doubt, take your blood pressure cuff that you're checking at home. Take it to your doctor's office and say, hey, when you check my blood pressure, can you please check it with yours and with mine? And then that way we can measure it out and say, well, at home, I'm getting 30 points lower than the doctor's office. Then you know your blood pressure machine is not right. So yes, Marquita, I will talk about, I'll do something on that. Let's see. Hey, Miss Yetta. Hey, Keisha. Thank y'all for joining. So do we have any other questions? I tried to kind of do the talk and then go back and answer some questions. So make sure you're mindful of what your blood pressure is when you go to the doctor. We want it to be now less than 130 over less than 80. And which is amazing, because I had just got used to telling everybody less than 140 over 90 or less than 150 over 90. Medicine changes so much, but we want you to be safe. We want you to be healthy. We don't want more strokes. We don't want more heart attacks. We don't want more heart failure. So next year I may be coming here telling you, because no, I'll be on the real TV screen come next year, okay? So when I'm on my show next year, hopefully the rules won't be changing. What you say, Keisha? If the wrist cuff reads out error, that's not a problem with the machine. If it reads out error, like, yeah. So try a different machine, because it may or may not be that machine. It may be you. So we need to make sure your levels are fine. We'll do another one, a follow-up, where I talk about medicines and what medicines work best for which race. We can do that, because there are certain medicines that since I am African-American, I'm very mindful of what African-Americans should be on. And there's a lot of things that I end up taking my patients off of after they come from somewhere else. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work for you. That's going to be detrimental to you. That, you know, it's not racist. It's a fact of life. You know, there's some things that work here that don't work there. If you're on blood pressure medicines, is it something that you have to be on forever? No, it's not. I've had several people to come off of blood pressure medicine, but they were very diligent. They watched their weight. I gave them very specific instructions and was like, now listen, when you come back in 6 months, if this is back up or this number is bad, you will be put on medicine, and I will not apologize for that. So they know that they got to come see me. So therefore I've had, and it's actually been more men to come off of it than women. I'm not really sure what that's about. I've been able to have some men to successfully be off of blood pressure for years. But when you sign on with me, I'm not one of those that's like, you're going to be on this forever. I believe God with you, you know. So I think that, you know, anything's possible. We try it out. We watch you and your lifestyle, what you're eating, what you're drinking. Wine and liquor has a lot of salt in it, and it will mess your blood pressure up. Just FYI, if you start going to the doctor and you've been drinking all night, don't go. Just don't go. Just push your visit off, because it's probably going to be high. And I'm going to be fussing a lot. Let's see. Yes, by my own show. Yes, I'm speaking it. Jennifer Lockett, yes, I have a question. Is 133 over 80 considered high blood pressure? Because I take lisinopril 5 milligrams. It's a very low dose. Actually, with the new guidelines, what do we say? Greater than 130 over the top and or greater than 80 over the bottom is considered stage 1 hypertension. So yes, that's considered high blood pressure, but it's not so astronomical that I'm like, oh my gosh, you need to get your levels rechecked. I'm sorry, y'all. you need to get your levels, checked. No, we just gonna hang out where you are, and just watch it. Just watch it. I would just watch it very, very closely. So, are there any more questions? So this is all new. I mean, this is fresh off the press. Jennifer is only, a week old. So I would say keep up what you're doing. You may end up having, if you continue to creep up, you may want to do like a peel and a half to get you down a little bit. But overall, it is what it is. Overall, I think that it would be better. So I think that just staying right there and trying, if you needed a little more, just doing an extra half a tablet. Okay, thank you. Hope you have a great, yes, I thank you so much. We're going to have a great Thanksgiving. I'm hosting it. Me and my husband are hosting it. And Zoe is so terribly excited. I'm excited. It's Christmas at my house already. Okay, so you know who I am. I hear my husband coming in now. I'm Dr. Kre. I'm a board-certified family medicine physician. And I specialize in you, beloved. Because I absolutely love you. And I want the best for you. I want you to be healthier, happier, and just whole. That's mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And I want your temple to be great and to be healthy. So thank you for joining me tonight on this very amazing Thanksgiving week. Find something to be thankful for, okay? And you know where you can follow me. Follow me on Facebook at Dr. Kre. That's DOCTORKRE, Dr. Kre. Follow me at Dr. Kre on Facebook. You already here. So tag a friend, share the video, and I can't wait to, is there going to be fried fish at the house? Yes, I think we're going to fry fish tomorrow or Wednesday. You coming? Let's see. Thanks, Dave, for reminding us everyone have a great one. What did I forget? Did you say that you should check your blood pressure? I'll check it about 3 times a week, Roxanne. If it's looking pretty good, I would do it about different times a day. I want it different times a day because I wanted to see when you're high stress, when you're not high stress, when you've been resting, that kind of thing. So you can do it a couple of times a day. Oh, you missed it. You missed part of it. I think that's it. All right, keep the callers if you're coming through. All right, y'all. Follow me at Dr. Kre on Facebook. I can't wait to talk to you next week. See ya.